Imagine that you could walk into a room and persuade anyone to do anything you wanted. You could get your boss to give you a raise, your spouse to agree to a vacation, or your audience to buy your product. This may sound like something out of a movie, but it's actually possible. We all know people who seem to have this great ability to get what they want easily. It's not magic, it's training. And anyone can learn to do it. With the right skills and knowledge, you can learn to become more persuasive in all areas of your life. Persuasion is the ability to influence others to change their thoughts, feelings, or behaviors. It is a powerful skill that can be used in all aspects of life, from personal relationships to business to politics. When you are persuasive, you are able to connect with people on an emotional level and convince them that your ideas are in their best interest. You are able to build trust and rapport, and you are able to effectively communicate your message. Persuasion is not about manipulation or coercion. It is about using your words and actions to influence others in a positive way. In today's competitive world, the people who are able to persuade others are more influential, are more likely to get ahead, and be more successful. In this video, I'm going to share 10 proven steps to increase your persuasive power. These steps are based on years of research and experience, and they're guaranteed to help you become more persuasive in all areas of your life. Step 1. Know your audience. Quote, "If you want to persuade people, you must appeal to their interests and show them how what you are proposing is in their best interest." The first step to being persuasive is to understand your audience. What are their needs and wants? What are their values and beliefs? Once you understand your audience, you can tailor your message to appeal to them, which means your message will resonate and your audience will feel a connection. Understanding your audience is a pivotal aspect of effective persuasion. Imagine you're a salesperson trying to sell a high-end sports car. If your audience consists of adventure seekers who crave adrenaline rushes, highlighting the car's speed and performance features would likely be more persuasive. However, if you're presenting to a family-oriented audience, emphasizing safety features and spaciousness would be more compelling. Knowing your audience allows you to tailor your message to their specific needs, values, and desires, greatly increasing your chances of successfully influencing them. Step 2. Build trust. Quote, "Trust is the foundation of persuasion. Establish trust by being honest, reliable, and consistent in your actions and words. Keep promises and deliver on expectations." Building trust is a cornerstone of effective persuasion. Consider a scenario where a political candidate seeks to persuade voters. If they have a history of honesty, transparency, and fulfilling promises, voters are more likely to trust their proposals and be influenced to support them. Conversely, if the candidate has a track record of dishonesty or flip-flopping on key issues, trust erodes, and their persuasive efforts falter. Trust establishes a strong foundation for influence, as people are more inclined to follow the guidance or recommendations of those they believe have their best interests at heart and are reliable. Step 3. Be clear and concise. Quote, "Clarity is the essence of persuasion." When you're trying to persuade someone, it's important to be clear and concise in your communication. Get to the point quickly and avoid using jargon or technical language. This will ensure that your audience can easily grasp your point. Being clear and concise in your persuasion efforts is like using a map to find your way. Imagine you're asking a friend for directions to a new restaurant. If they give you a simple, step-by-step guide, you're more likely to follow it. But if they ramble on with confusing details and unnecessary information, you might get lost or lose interest. Similarly, when you're trying to persuade or influence someone, keeping your message clear and to the point helps them understand and remember your argument. It makes it easier for them to say yes, because they can see the path you're laying out without getting lost in a maze of words. Step 4. Establish credibility. Quote, "Credibility is the currency of persuasion. Earn it, and you'll win people over. Showcase your expertise, credentials, and achievements. This will demonstrate your authority and trustworthiness. Establishing credibility in persuasion is like showing your friends that you know what you're talking about. Think about a time when you wanted your friends to trust your movie recommendation. If you've seen a lot of good movies and have a reputation for picking winners, they're more likely to listen. It's the same in persuasion. When you show that you're knowledgeable, experienced, or have done your homework, people are more likely to believe you and be persuaded by your ideas. Your credibility acts like a stamp of approval that makes your message more convincing, just like being the movie expert among your friends makes your movie suggestions more persuasive. Step 5. Use evidence and social proof. Quote, evidence is the lifeblood of persuasion. People are more likely to be persuaded by evidence, such as facts, statistics, and testimonials. So, be sure to support your claims with evidence whenever possible. Also, social proof is very important and should not be overlooked. People are more likely to say yes when they see others doing the same. So don't hesitate to highlight endorsements or examples of others who have benefited from your proposal or idea. Using evidence and social proof in persuasion is like sharing stories or reviews when you're convincing your friends to try a new restaurant. Imagine telling your friends about a fantastic restaurant you recently visited and showing them pictures of the delicious dishes you enjoyed. That evidence and the positive experiences of others make your recommendation much more convincing. Similarly, when you provide facts, data, or testimonials to support your argument, you're giving people a reason to believe you. It's like saying, look, others have tried this, and it worked for them, here's the proof. This makes your persuasion more compelling and helps others trust your point of view. Step 6. Tell compelling stories. Quote, stories are bridges to the hearts and minds of your audience. Stories are a powerful way to connect with people on an emotional level. Like the quotes in this video, stories are memorable and relatable. So, try to incorporate stories into your persuasive messages whenever possible. Develop engaging narratives that illustrate your message, making it more effective and compelling to your audience. Using compelling stories in persuasion is like sharing an exciting adventure with your friends. Instead of just listing facts, you weave those facts into a captivating narrative. For example, if you're trying to convince your family to go on a camping trip, you could tell them a story about a previous camping experience where you had a blast, sharing funny mishaps, beautiful scenery, and the joy of roasting marshmallows by the campfire. These stories create an emotional connection and make your persuasion more memorable and relatable. In persuasion, when you tell stories that illustrate your point, it engages people's emotions and imagination, making your message more persuasive and impactful. Step 7. Active listening. Quote, to persuade, you must first listen to understand, not just to respond. Practice active listening by giving your full attention, asking open-ended questions, and showing empathy. Active listening is the cornerstone of persuasive communication. By truly understanding your audience's needs, concerns, and desires, you can tailor your message effectively, build trust, and address objections. Also, when people are listened to, they feel respected and valued, which ultimately increases your ability to influence and persuade. Step 8. Find common ground. Quote, common ground is the fertile soil in which persuasion can flourish. Finding common ground is essential in persuasion as it creates a shared connection and a sense of unity with your audience. Identifying shared values, interests, or goals allows you to build rapport, demonstrate empathy, and increases the likelihood that people will be open to your ideas and more willing to be persuaded by your message. Finding common ground in persuasion is like discovering shared interests with a new friend. Imagine meeting someone for the first time and realizing you both love the same music. That common interest instantly creates a bond and makes it easier to connect. Similarly, when you're trying to persuade someone, finding common ground by identifying shared values or goals can create a connection. For instance, if you're pitching a project at work, highlighting how it aligns with your colleagues' desire for success and growth can make them more receptive to your ideas. Finding common ground helps build trust and makes your persuasion efforts more effective, just like it does when making new friends. Step 9. Be persistent. Quote, "Persuasion is not an act of closing an argument. It is the gradual process of opening the mind of another. Persuasion doesn't always happen overnight. It sometimes takes time and effort to convince someone to change their mind. People are generally creatures of habit, and oftentimes it is very difficult for them to deviate out of their comfort zone and be persuaded into a new idea or product. So, don't give up if you don't get the results you want immediately. Being persistent in persuasion is like trying to solve a tricky puzzle. Imagine you're working on a jigsaw puzzle, and some pieces just won't fit at first. If you keep trying different angles and don't give up, you eventually complete the picture. Similarly, when you're persuading someone, they might not say yes right away. But if you're persistent, patient, and keep presenting your case with valid reasons and enthusiasm, you increase your chances of them eventually coming around. Just like in puzzles, being persistent in persuasion can lead to a successful outcome, even when it's a bit challenging at first. Step 10. Be respectful and handle objections gracefully. Quote, "Objections are opportunities to refine your persuasion skills. Anticipate objections, listen actively to objections, and respond with confidence and empathy, addressing concerns effectively. Even if you disagree with someone, it's important to be respectful of their opinion. This will show that you're a reasonable person who is open-minded and understanding. Remember, you don't want to burn bridges. Being respectful and handling objections gracefully in persuasion is like having a polite conversation with a friend who has a different opinion. Imagine discussing your favorite movie with a friend who doesn't like it. Instead of arguing, you listen to their reasons and respond respectfully. This approach keeps the conversation friendly. In persuasion, when you encounter objections or differing views, being respectful and addressing concerns calmly shows that you value the other person's perspective. For example, if you're trying to convince a coworker about a project, and they raise concerns about resources, you can acknowledge their worries and work together to find solutions. This respect and willingness to address objections can help build trust and make your persuasion more effective. Here's a bonus tip. Using scarcity and urgency. Using scarcity can be a powerful persuasion tool. It taps into people's fear of missing out. When you highlight that a product or opportunity is limited, it can create a sense of urgency, driving individuals to take action more quickly in fear of losing out on something valuable. Keep in mind that acquiring this remarkable ability isn't an effortless process. It requires a dedicated investment of time and energy to train yourself effectively. While some individuals may possess an innate talent for persuasion, the majority of us must commit to diligent effort. However, I assure you that mastering this superpower will profoundly transform your life. Thank you for watching this video.